Hello and welcome to the Satsuma Designs Workshop. Thanks so much for joining me. In this video, I'd like to show you how to change the needle on an industrial sewing machine. But let me start by sharing a little bit about industrial needles. They have a lot of numbers on them when you go to purchase industrial sewing machine needles, and I want to share a few of those details. On your container, in this case 12, each of these little compartments has 2 needles, you will find some numbers. The first that you want to pay the closest attention to is this number 80-12. This represents the thickness of the needle and the type of fabric that the needle works best with. In our case, an 80-12 is a good mid-weight fabric needle, which gets the thread through and there's not an extra large puncture hole with that needle. The 80 represents the metric or European standard, and the 12 represents the American standard. Another pair of numbers that you can pay attention to is this 16 by 257. This represents the system or the class of needles that will work with your specific industrial machine. I'm working with a Juki, and the Juki takes these 16 by 257s. This is less to do with the actual operation and fabric and more to do with the machine itself. So just keep that in mind, and that'll all be clear with your own machine. So that's enough about that. I am going to change my needle. I inadvertently sewed over the base clamp of a zipper, and you can see I bent my needle pretty well. Now, thankfully, nothing broke. This is another reminder of why we wear eye protection, though, when we're sewing. So I'll put this bent needle aside. It was very easy to take it out. I will drop my presser foot, and I unscrewed the screw, which is on the right side here. I removed that, and we'll go ahead and insert our new needle. Let me share a little bit about the needle. On an industrial sewing machine, the needle has a round shank, or about the top half. This slides right into the needle holder. And on a home sewing machine, the shank will have a flat back, which slides right up into the throat. Another element on an industrial sewing machine is that you'll have a channel where the thread slides through from the left to the right. We thread our industrial sewing machine needles from the left to the right, and that channel needs to be facing out. So one tool to have on hand is a pair of tweezers that can help you secure your needle as you go to screw it in. I've got my screwdriver. I've dropped my sewing foot. I'm gonna go ahead and just place this in, and making sure with my tweezers now, I'm gonna spin this until I know that my channel is facing left. Okay, I'm looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead. You know, I forgot to share, I like to put a piece of fabric down. This prevents my needle from falling into the bobbin channel if that should slip or my hands should slip. So that's a nice way to prevent that. Believe me, it's happened a number of times. So I'm happy with the orientation of the needle. I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten up my screw here on the right. As you remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So if you're loosening things, turn to the left. If you're tightening up, turn to the right with your screwdriver. And do make sure that you tighten your screw enough so that it's secure and safe, but not so tight that when you go to loosen it later or change your needle again, it's difficult. So there you have it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for lots more industrial and home sewing tutorials, and happy sewing. Thanks.